like to bring to your attention an important piece of legislation that is aimed at promoting a cleaner and healthier environment for all. The Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, also known as Republic Act 9003, is a crucial law that governs the proper management and disposal of solid waste in our community. The Ecological Solid Waste Management Act emphasizes the importance of reducing, reusing, and recycling our waste to minimize its adverse impact on the environment and public health. By adhering to the provisions of this law, we can collectively work towards a more sustainable future for our city or town. By familiarizing ourselves with the provisions of the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act or RA 9003 and actively participating in its implementation, we can make a significant positive impact on our environment and overall quality of life. Let, let us all work together to build a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable community. Together, let's be responsible stewards of our environment and create a brighter future for generations to come.
So, now let's talk about proper waste management. Proper disposal of human waste is important to avoid pollution of water sources, avoid the negative implication of someone else finding it, minimize the possibility of spreading disease, and maximize the rate of decomposition. Proper waste disposal and management can be done by applying the 3R, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. To make the 3Rs work, there is a need to separate or segregate trash or garbage. First, know what trash or garbage that can be recycled and which ones are not. We have two types of waste: the biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste are waste or garbage that can be broken down or decomposed. For instance, fruits, vegetables, flowers, plants, animals, water, and paper are examples of biodegradable waste, while non-biodegradable waste are waste or garbage that cannot be broken down or decomposed. Glass, metals, computer parts, batteries, medical waste, plastic bags, plastic bottles, and carbon paper are a few examples of non-biodegradable waste. We should start practicing proper waste management at home and in our community because God commands us to do so as indicated in the Bible, specifically in 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms.
Another way to a good waste disposal is through MRF, or so-called Materials Recovery Facility. Materials Recovery Facility, sometimes called the Materials Reclamation Facility or Materials Recycling Facility, is a plant that separates and prepares single-stream recycling materials and to be sold and buyers. And there are two primary types of materials recovery facilities: the clean MRF and the dirty MRF. What is a clean MRF? A clean materials recovery facility only processes residential or commercial single-stream recycling. That is, recyclable materials that you place in your curbside recycling bin that is picked up every week or so. What about the dirty MRF? A dirty materials recovery facility processes residential or commercial trash in the hope of capturing recyclable materials that have incorrectly been thrown out as trash. It is also said that there is a third materials recovery facility type known as the wet MRF, which is essentially a dirty MRF in which water is present to separate and clean recycling streams and in some cases begin to biodegrade certain organics to make them ready to enter an anaerobic digestion facility. So, materials recovery facility can sort plastics, cardboard, paper, including newspapers, magazine, office paper, mixed paper, etc., glass bottles and jars, metal containers, including aluminum and steel cans, and cartons.
Solid waste can have various effects on the environment, human health, and ecosystem. So these are environmental pollution, water pollution, air pollution, soil contamination, habitat destruction, and so on. So what we should do to reduce the worst effect of solid waste? Number one, we need to practice the 3R, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. In terms of reduce, we need to minimize waste generation by being mindful to your consumption. In terms of reuse, be resourceful and give items a second life by reusing them. By doing this, we can make things to become more usable again. In terms of recycle, recycling helps conserve valuable natural resources such as timber, water, and minerals. By recycling materials like paper, plastic, and metal, we can reduce the need for extracting and processing raw materials from the environment. By recycling, it can also conserve resources, reduce waste, and build a more sustainable development. Number two that we need to do is we must segregate our waste by separating different types of waste such as paper, plastic, glass, and metals so that it makes easier to process and recycle materials. Number three, be an advocate and spread awareness. By aggregating and raising awareness to other people, it helps our environment to become more clean and green so that we need to share information of the benefits and significance of waste reduction. Remember, reducing waste requires a collective effort. That's why we need to unite and make our environment sustainable and have a safer place to live in. By incorporating these practices into our lifestyle and inspiring others to do the same, you can contribute a positive impact to attain more sustainable future.
A reminder to each and every one of us. Given that our world is dying because of the pollution given by the waste, we still have ways to prevent, suppress, and avoid waste pollution. We all know that waste is inevitable since waste is from the consumption of us, the individuals. Even that waste is inevitable, we still have a strategy to lessen the waste pollution here in our society. We will stick to the basic. Aside from segregation, the true and effective way to lessen our waste that creates pollution is that being a disciplined and responsible enough when it comes with our production and consumption because it is integrated in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, particularly the number 12 Sustainable Development Goals or the responsible consumption and production. We do not need a position leader that will lead and dictate on what to do. Being a responsible and disciplined enough when it comes with our waste and production, well, it will begin with ourselves. Furthermore, this Republic Act 9003 is a reminder that we should not be part of the solution. Instead, we should be the solution for the environment's transformation.